welcome back to my kitchen. Susan here again. I am making 3 pumpkin pies, homemade, okay? This is puree pumpkin that I have prepared from pumpkins. I am making this to fill the 3 pastry shells that I made in my previous video. So if you haven't seen that one, you might want to go and have a look at that. I'll leave a link to it in the description box because that one is going up first. So either way, you'll have them tied together. I am making 3 of them. I will give you the directions for 1 pumpkin pie. I just happen to be making 3, and then you can multiply the ingredients however you need to. Now we start with 2 cups of mashed pumpkin puree. Now that's for 1 pie. This is 6 cups, okay? To that we add 1 12 fluid ounce can of evaporated milk. There we go, like so. Okay. Here in Canada, this 354 ml is the same as 12 ounce. So you just want to open that up. There we go. This is evaporated milk, not condensed. It's a little bit different. This is evaporated, partly skimmed milk, vitamins A, C, D added, 2%. Partially skimmed. So again, I'm making 3. The single recipe only calls for 1, so I'm going to have to add 3. These are fairly cheap to get. I think they were $1 a can. So when you're talking 3 pies, that's not very much. Okay, there's 2 and 3. Now, if you're worried that's a little bit too liquidy, we are adding eggs to this. So the eggs will help firm it up and set the filling. There we go. And we're going to start. Take that out. We're going to start gently mixing it with the puree so that it doesn't splash all over when I put the beater to it. We prefer homemade pie to the canned variety or the store-bought fully made pies because my husband can't do the spice so much. It's really hard on his acid reflux. So he prefers my pies because I can modify the spices for him. I will give you the proper spices for 1 pie. However, as I said, I'm going to be modifying the ones I'm making. So don't take this for written in stone. Okay, there we go. That's most of it in there. Now to this, we add for 1 pie is 2 eggs beaten. I have 6 eggs for 3 pies. Okay, just take that out of there. And we just slightly beat the eggs. They don't have to be anything more than that. Just beaten. Okay, now, back over here. And there we go. Okay. I think I need a bigger bowl. I do believe I do. This is going to be a little hard to mix if it's maximum capacity. There we go. I got a bigger bowl. This is what we do when we're cooking. Sometimes you have to adjust as you're going. That's much better. That's going to give me the room to move this stuff. Now we take a spatula and grab all this goodness out of here. Don't want to leave any of this behind. Now, as I said, we prefer this at home. Simply because we can customize it and it doesn't have such the bite that the ones in the store does. Okay, there we go. That's much better. I've got room to move now. I can actually mix this better. As you can see, this is still quite fibrous, but I am going to be using my hand mixer. You can also use an immersion blender for this, which I've used in the past, but I don't happen to have one right now, so I'm using my hand blender. And to this mixture, I have 2 1/4 cups of packed brown sugar. The recipe for 1 pie is 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar. So again, this is just for my purposes tonight. You're going to use 3/4 of a cup for 1 pie. Kind of get that incorporated in. And then we add the spice. Just a gentle dose of spice for ours. We don't use a lot, but I will tell you what the single pie takes, which is a lot more than I'm going to put in. Okay, here we go. Now, to that, I am going to add the final ingredients, which is 1/2 teaspoon of salt for these are for 1 pie. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, ground cinnamon. I am not going to add all of that. I am adding just the merest hint of pumpkin pie spice, which has all those ingredients in it, but I've got maybe a teaspoon there. And that's going to go in 3 pies, so that's not really all that much to put in. Okay, not to worry, I will turn the audio off on this portion and speed up the video. Okay, and I blended that with the hand mixer for approximately 2.5 to 3 minutes, and this is the result. Nice and even, everything is well incorporated, and it's ready for the pie shells. Now, what I'm going to do, I am going to use a ladle in order to put the filling into the pie shells. simply because this bowl is so big. I don't want an accident, so I'm going to do it this way. And I'm definitely going to have more than enough for 3 pies. These are 8-inch pie shells. As I said, you can see that in my other video. And probably 3.5 ladles is gonna do it. Yeah, I believe so. I don't want to make it more than that or it might overflow. So here we go. That's one. These are going to go in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 40 minutes. Now your oven may differ, so keep an eye on them. And they are done when you can put a knife about 1 inch in from the edge and it comes out clean. Once the filling has fully set up. Yep, 3.5. It's going to do an 8-inch pie, and I'm going to have more pies to make, so that's fine. I'll make them another time. I can put that filling in the fridge, and it will hold for a few days at least until I can make some more pie shells. Here we go. As you can see, it's not all that dark of a orange, but that is the difference between natural pumpkin and the canned stuff that might have artificial colors in it and artificial flavors, etc. This is much smoother for us. So there we go. And I will be back with the finished pies and the little treats that I made that I alluded to in my first video that I made. I'll have those finished too. I finished baking them off, so the oven is ready for the pies. And here we have the final results, guys. 3 homemade pumpkin pies. This one was on the top rack, so it got a little brown on the top, which is fine. It's still cooked properly, and you put a toothpick in and it comes out clean. Same with these two, they're cooked. Now what I have to do is let them cool on a wire rack until they're totally cool, and I can then cover them and put them in the fridge. You can also give these away as gifts. You can give them to friends and neighbors, you know, share them around. You can also freeze them. I would put foil on top if I was going to put it in the freezer, but I'm just going to cover it in cling wrap because these are going to get eaten very quickly. Okay, the other thing I have from the oven tonight is the little pastry treats that I made at the tail end of my last video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look at that video. I'll have a link in the description of this one. And here they are. These are little pastry treats that my husband just adores. Your kids would adore it too if you have kids. It's just jam and pastry, and they're a nice little snack, and they took 22 minutes to bake to a nice golden brown. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the recipe. I will leave that in the description box for one pie. I ended up having enough filling left to make another 4 8-inch pies, guys. 8-inch pies. Like, okay, this something went wrong with my math when I multiplied this recipe or something, but I ended up with what I made is these 3 plus 4 more, so I've got 7 pies worth of 8-inch pies, and I'm going to be making more pie shells tomorrow and filling them up and baking them off, and yeah, giving some away. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.